Because nothing does
Doesn't
not
exist.
No, nothing is certainly not the state of affairs we are currently in. The question I was putting is to demonstrate to us, to demonstrate that nothing has never been the state of affairs.
Because it's logically irrational and
Explain to us why.
Because the lack nothing can, for nothing to exist, it has to have a space. It has to exist in something for it to be defined.
Space is
but to define it, in order to define
is something. If space exists, then there's not nothing. But space is not. But space came into existence with our universe, as far as we know.
Oh, really? Well,
no, we don't.
Well, as far as we know, we don't know exactly. You don't know what happened before.
So cosmologist Sean Carroll, Lawrence Krauss, these are two cosmologists at the cutting edge of theoretical physics right now. Lawrence Krauss had said, if I had to bet on it, I would say the universe, our observable universe, had a beginning. Sean Carroll has stated, Sean Carroll, another cosmologist, said, I have no problem saying the universe had a beginning.
Again, that's
by universe, no, I'm not finished speaking yet. By universe, they are referring to the time, space, material reality.
Right. And Dr. Alan Guth says it is most likely eternal.
Yes, that's his opinion.
That's his hypothesis. Well, got it.
It's right. Yeah, and Alexander Vilenkin's opinion is different. So Guth and Vilenkin both differ with respect to whether or not, prior to the expansion of the universe, if there was something else, Alexander Vilenkin says, if there was something else on the other side of the expansions of the universe, that would be the beginning.
But not necessarily a nothing.
No, definitely not necessarily. In fact, Vilenkin doesn't believe there was ever nothing. Neither do I. But I'm not stupid enough to say it's logically impossible that there was nothing. That's the position that Watson is taking in this discussion.
Right, but your position comes from what is essentially just human philosophy created how many thousands of years ago?
Oh, right. No, well, is truth, can truth age?
Can truth age?
Yeah, if something was true, if something was true 10,000 years ago, could it become
evolve?
Yeah, but and can it stay the same?
Huh?
Can it stay the same? Can something have been true 10,000 years ago that's still true today?
Sure.
A million years ago?
Gravity.
Right, which means truth is not determined by age. So even if my
truth
views
is a theory.
truth is not truth is that which corresponds to reality. It's not a theory. What we have is
how we perceive is the theory.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an ever-evolving theory, right?
We have an epistemological limitation on knowing reality.
Right.
Right. So that
theory. Got it.
No, it's not one evolving theory. There are evolving hypotheses.
No, now we have a theory. We actually have something to test it by. We've gone from idea, and now we're into the testing phase or the theorizing stage. And then what we get more of is negative discovery.
Cool. So which theory are you referring to?
Well, what did we start with? Truth?
No, truth is that which corresponds to reality. That's not a theory. That's a definition. That's a definition of the truth.
Now you're a fan of definitions.
Yeah, not dictionary, not from the dictionary, which gives us word usages. I'm giving you a definition of a term. Truth is that which corresponds to reality.
I'd like to
observe, right?
I never heard you because.
As far as we've observed.
No, it doesn't. Our observation don't change reality. Reality is what reality is.
You're right.
Whether we observe it or whether we don't, what we believe or what we don't believe, it does not change reality. It does not change truth.
And as time goes by, we adjust our theories upon what we've observed, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't...
we adjust the truth as we go along. Truth is evolving along with us.
You are equating our observations with truth. You have no basis to do that. You cannot justify doing that. You need to assume that our observations are veridical and accurate before you can make the linkage between our observations and truth.
All right, I'm back. Who won?
Going by the right-hand side here, Sydney, you wanted to answer Helena with something?
Yeah, there's some kind of a question that apparently I'm not willing to concede or something.
Yeah, you don't know what logical impossibility is.
Okay, Matt. Okay, can you just hold on?
That's what the point is.
Okay. Jumps right in.
Jumps right in. Just.
He's right.
Okay, if he's right, then that's right.
Yeah, but I don't know that it's that he doesn't know what logical impossibility is. I wouldn't go that far.
Well, maybe I don't.
It seems like, Sid, that Matt presented this very easy God, right? So he's not going to the Christian God. He's going to one that's easy for him or hardest for us. Let's put it that way, right? And he's saying you cannot produce a way for there to be for it to be logically impossible that this deist God exists. And you are unwilling, you seem just unwilling to concede that, although you nonetheless cannot produce it.
Well, deist God implies, in my mind, consciousness and intelligence. There's no way to connect consciousness and intelligence to a first cause with a physical effect.
Why not?
Which is all physics, nothing else.
Why not?
Because there's no connection. There's no reason for it. There's no need for it. Considering that we all agreed, and even you agree, Matt, and I agree that the existence is infinite. There's never been a beginning and an end.
We don't agree on that.
Yes, we do.
No, if I say I don't,
the only difference we have.
If I say we don't agree on something, it means that I am not agreeing with you.
The only difference we have is that in your infinite existence, there's a consciousness that somehow was there from the beginning, and in my infinite existence, it's all natural.
Again, that's incorrect. If nothing described the state of affairs, there was nothing in existence. No thing existed.
That's right, but God was always around, according to you.
If no thing...
So if God was always around, there's not nothing.
If there was nothing in existence, that would include God.
So God was around before God.
No, this is a hypothetical. If nothing existed, then existence is not infinite.
What? Yeah, okay, but there's your if.
Of course.
Inferring something irrational.
Do you know what a conditional statement is?
I actually do.
No, what is a conditional statement?
Conditional statement is if condition A then X, and if condition B then Y, whatever.
Do you know what modus ponens is?
Well, that's for a private hangout, huh?
Do you know what modus ponens is?
Seriously.
Yeah,
why introduce this kind of...
Because modus ponens is a valid form of a deductive argument, and it uses exactly what I just said. If
P then Q, P therefore Q.
Yes, exactly. It's a conditional statement. It's a valid form of deductive argument in logic. So
give me an invalid form of deductive argument in logic.
That
if
would be
P then Q, Q therefore P.
There we go. Which is affirming the antecedent, or affirming the antecedent, I think it's called, or the consequent. That would be an invalid form of a logical argument. So when you look at a logical argument, the first thing you need to look at is whether it is in proper logical form or not. That would involve looking at things like if P, therefore Q, and what follows on from there. Then you make a determination, okay, so it's in valid logical form. Then you start to examine the premises. Are the premises more plausibly true than their negation? If the answer is no, the argument fails. If the answer is yes, the argument succeeds.
Well, we disagree on premises, and I for the very first time I've ever heard you say that God was not the very first thing in existence.
I haven't said that.
There was a nothing before God. You just said there
no,
was
I didn't. I gave you a hypothetical. If there was nothing, then that would include God.
Right.
That's not stating I believe there was nothing, or I believe there was a nothing before God.
Okay, so that means that if there was not a nothing, there was not a God.
Wow. If there was no thing, that would include God.
Mm-hmm.
There would be absolutely no somethings. If that statement was true, there was absolutely no somethings, then existence could not be infinite.
Yes. But if that statement is false,
existence would be finite.
Yes, but if that statement is false, then God never exist.
So show me that statement is false.
I don't have to. Show me it's true.
I'm not.
You're the one who said
the one with the burden of evidence.
Sid, you said you could do that.
Okay, well, look, the whole concept of God is only emerged in human brains.
You're talking about what's real and what's really there, and how likely is it that what our reality is really about. But Matt's talking about hypotheticals and logical arguments. And so, in proving something impossible logically, which was his stipulation, provides some sort of inconsistency or contradiction.
The only way his argument holds is if the state of nothingness can actually exist. And
we've all agreed that the state
something. Hold on a sec. And we've all agreed that the state of nothingness is not possible.
No, we haven't.
Well, everybody else has.
Yeah, I haven't. There's nothing logically impossible about nothing describing reality.
And I think that we have to concede. There's nothing logically impossible about it. But that doesn't mean that we think that that's what happened or that that's what is or anything like that. It just means that there's no way to create a logical argument that shows a contradiction in assuming that the way Matt says hypothetically could be.
Oh, where's the precedent? Where's the precedent?
Well, so you're talking about reality, but he's talking about hypothetical and logical argument.
But that's what I said before, is that these things,
this is why I was
earlier, these things are built this way. They're built to be that way, so it doesn't matter. Like, we can sit here and concede that, yeah, sure, it's not a logical impossibility.
There you go. That's all. That's it.
But
stop.
You still have to take the next step, though. You have to take the next step.
Well, I would like to take the next step, but my interest is why doesn't Sid want to agree? It doesn't. It's not a big deal to agree to that. I mean, the God is so tiny, the one that Matt's wanted to start with, and the concession means so little. What's the big deal?
I don't know if I said that. I don't know, but the thing is, I don't think that's it. Is that I think Sid is jumping forward and just saying, well, how would you demonstrate that, right? How would you go about showing?
Yes, he is, and he's caring about things that, in my opinion, are more important. But nonetheless, you should concede that it is logically impossible. I don't see what the resistance is.
Yeah, this whole discussion started because he made the assertion it's logically impossible for God to exist.
Oh, that's crazy.
Of course it is. That's why he was evicted from my hangout.
I'm sorry, but any atheist worth their own salt in terms of honesty will tell you that there's no way on earth we can absolutely, with the faculties and evidences we have open to us today, rule out the existence of an almighty God. You just can't do it. There's no way to do it definitively.
It doesn't even need to be almighty.
Well, I mean, allow me a little bit of flourish, would you, Matt? Like, I'd like my ass to be free of intruders for today, if that's okay with you.
I don't think
Gus
that's
is a very languagey guy. You got to give him all his language.
Besides, everybody else talks about God being almighty, so, you can give over if you like.
The deist God is not described as almighty.
Any God, of any kind. Big, small, short, tall.
But the God we were referring to was a God of deism, and that's not part of the definition of the God of deism, is not having the property of being almighty.
All right, sweetheart, I'm talking about God.
If you guys don't care, I'd like to keep Sid on the hot seat for just a little bit more.
Yes, come on.
Why,
my seat's cooling down. My ass isn't cooling.
Why are you resistant to conceding this?
You don't get it. He will never concede that.
Oh, no, but I'm curious as to why.
Because he's closed-minded to the truth.
Well, I would like to hear it from him.
Is Helena asking me and then Matt's replying? Is that the understanding?
Right Go ahead and
do I even need to be in this hangout?
Go ahead.
You can just ask me question after question and Matt can answer.
Go ahead and prove me wrong then and concede the point. Go ahead. Prove me wrong and concede the obvious point that everyone else can see apart from you.
Answer the riddle of steel.
Okay.
No, Sid, seriously.
Yes.
Do you concede, and if not, why?
Do I concede that it's logically possible for a creator God to have created everything like a deist?
Yes. There you go. Yeah.
No, I do not concede because.
Okay. So to show that it's logically impossible, you've got to show some kind of contradiction or something like that.
Okay, because I just don't see. It's just so simple. The element hydrogen, which I have alluded to before, was the first thing that we know of. It's a physical element.
Okay.
It's matter and energy.
Yeah.
And my only possible conclusion is that the cause of that state of hydrogen, whatever, was a physical cause with no intelligence or consciousness behind it.
And how does your conclusion follow from the premise that
because of what came out of it? That's
okay. So and that takes us back to the fact that you are saying that if you have something physical, the cause of that must also be physical. If you have something material, then the cause of that must be material.
Yes.
If you have something spherical, then the cause of that must be spherical. You see, now you want to special plead.
Oh really? Oh, now are you serious, or are you just trolling me now?
No, you're special.
Who's trolling who? You know full well that the minute you say something like God can't possibly exist, you're going to get shit kicked.
That's true enough.
The problem is he actually believes it.
Oh, I doubt that. I strongly doubt that.
No,
I've had some exposure to Sid before, and Sid is very, very good at pulling people's chains. He's very good at it.
No,
are you pulling a collective chain right now, Sid?
That's again, these private hangouts that we're trying to set up shouldn't be announced.
You mean the live one?
How does it logically follow that because something is X, it must have came from X?
I didn't even say that.
All right. So what makes so do you agree then that there are some things that we know of which are of one nature but did not come from something of the same nature?
If you give me an example that I can sort of wrap.
I gave you an example. Spherical things. The nature of the Earth is it's an oblate spheroid. So, given the shape of the Earth as an oblate spheroid, do you take the position that whatever caused the Earth must also be an oblate spheroid?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so if your answer is absolutely not, then that demonstrates that...
Hold on. The Earth wasn't spewed out as one... Hold on a minute.
It doesn't logically follow that because you have something as a result, that the cause of it must be the same. You've just conceded You have just conceded to special pleading.
No, I have not. Now,
Yes, you have.
Well, can I defend myself?
Yeah, if you can do logically, which you can't, but
Well,
go ahead and try.
Of course, but I'll do my best, really.
Your best isn't good enough.
It never is, Matt. Never is.
No, never will be.
God frowns on my best.
Well, I do.
Doesn't he, huh?
As do other atheists.
Damn you, other atheists! Stop
Hence why you're a laughing stock among them.
Well, if I'm
yeah, that's right. People are laughing at atheists all the time. Oh, wait a minute. No, they're not.
People are laughing at people.
So,
like
okay, let me just understand, Matt. You think that the Earth was kind of just expelled out of the universe in one sort of? It just sort of came.
No, I don't.
The Earth was
trolling.
No, the Earth was.
He is. I'm telling you,
Of course, you know that's not what Matt was saying.
But that's exactly what he said.
It's not even remotely what he said.
He said a spherical object is caused by a spherical object, something like that, which makes no sense at all.
He said that your claim was of the same form as a claim as ridiculous, as more obviously ridiculous, as saying spherical things must come from spherical things. He wasn't saying that God spit out the Earth as a globe.
No, then why? Where does he deduce that I say that spherical things must come from spherical things?
Because this is what I deduce. Yeah, I deduce. You made the claim that because the universe is physical, the cause must be physical. So you're said unless you're special pleading for the universe, you must accept that you are saying that if something has a certain nature, i.e. physical or spherical.
No, the spherical part of it is bullshit. Physical is enough.
Then you're special pleading. You have to give a reason why you are making a special case for the universe that you would not make for everything else.
I'm not.
You are, because you accept that just because the Earth is an oblate spheroid, it does not follow that it came from something. I just said to you, drop the spherical bullshit and just stick with
He was reaching with the spherical one.
Yeah, that's such
one of those things. He's trying to, the cause and the.
You know you've lost. You know
he hasn't lost anything.
He hasn't lost anything. It's just that he went one step too far in his analogy.
No, and it's not one too step far.
Obviously absurd example, so that you could see your faulty reasoning from his perspective.
It's a form of argument. It's called argumentum ad absurdum.
I know, but from his perspective, he's got this imaginary God that doesn't exist in his
Can you demonstrate that this God is imaginary?
I couldn't agree more. He has an imaginary God that doesn't exist.
You mentioned God from your imagination, and you're the only one who can see him.
Well, that's incorrect. The vast majority of human beings that have ever existed to the present day have been theists. It's only a tiny minority in the
because they haven't known any better.
In the course of human history,
citation needed.
In the course of human history, to the present day, atheists are a tiny, insignificant minority of the world's population.
All right. I represent that. You have the same conversation in 400 years.
Matt is somewhat correct. Matt is somewhat correct. People have, in almost every culture that we've seen, have believed in many different gods. One of which is a feathered serpent named Quetzalcoatl from South America, and he's very important, by the way. Yes. So there's a degree of truth in what he's saying, but saying that someone's position is insignificant because of the minority, I think, is a bit false.
I haven't said their position is insignificant because of the minority. I'm pointing out the fact that atheism has always been a minority position. That doesn't make it false. It doesn't make it wrong.
You did not use the word insignificant?
It's an insignificant minority of people.
So what does insignificant imply?
It means that they have no significant impact on the universe that we live in.
Okay, so that's very demeaning, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it doesn't make a statement about whether it's true or not. It could be the case that in 1,000 years' time, atheism will be the majority view of the world's population and have a very significant impact on the world we live in.
Okay, you don't do that from populations, though. That'd be an argument for population, would it not?
No, it wouldn't be. Because the argument for argumentum ad populum, because this concept is so popular or unpopular, therefore it is true or false, and I'm not making that claim.
You're actually making the claim because you're using the fact that there have been more, historically, theists. That is somehow more. I mean, but that's still an argumentum ad populum. You're hinging the entire argument. Yes, it is. You're hinging.
The more popular it is, the more valid it is.
You even, and let me finish. You've even thrown in insignificant minority to qualify the statement. Yes, it is, Matt.
Because atheists have no significant impact on the world events. Or
how do you know
that? That's definitely a lie. But that's still that is definitely a lie.
Show me the significant impact that atheism has. Well, significant impact in a positive way. We know that Stalin murdered millions, so he had an
impact. Here we go.
He had a significant.
We're not going to mention Alan Turing. Let him finish.
Negative impact on humanity. But show me where atheism, the position of atheism, has a significant impact in the universe we live in.
Okay, you see the thing that you're talking on right now? What do you know what this thing is called?
Yes, it's called a computer.
Okay, then and the network that we're able to talk through.
Yeah, it's called a network system. Yeah.
Okay, so do you know who Alan Turing is?
Yeah, I do. He was a homosexual paedophile who was rightfully prosecuted for his crimes.
So to recap,
who chose chemical? Who chose?
Who just so happened to be an atheist? Who just so happened to be an atheist and made a significant contribution? Who also happened to be an atheist who made a significant contribution to us. Thank you.
Who chose chemical castration over having the
bravery to going to pick up coming in down now. That's because that's no good.
What you basically ignored is I never said
was not a pedophile.
What I never said
was not a pedophile.
Alan Turing was.
I'll accept your retraction of that point at this point.
Okay.
Alan Turing was not a pedophile.
Alan Turing
was not Turing. You will not be permitted to go on with that as long as I'm here.
He was a pedophile.
Alan Turing.
Tim Berners-Lee then? I can guarantee you that his sexuality is within Matt's acceptable range. So how about Tim Berners-Lee?
Oh, I'm sure he'll have an answer.
I don't know who she is.
That's a he.
Yeah, that was a joke.
Okay, he invented the internet.
Yeah. So what? This is the statement I made. Atheism as a worldview, as a position.
Well, then at that point,
what you're doing is you're saying individual atheists, people who have held to atheists, apart from their atheism did not give us computers. Their atheism did not give us the internet.
Then by that rationale, Christianity. Then by that rationale, Christianity. Then by that rationale, Christianity. Then by that rationale, Christianity.
If you look at
I swear to God, I will get this out if it kills me. Then by that rationale, Christianity hasn't done anything either.
Yeah, that's incorrect. Isaac Newton, who produced the Principia Mathematica, his sole motivation for what he did was his Christianity. He was looking to get to understand how the creator of the universe.
You just did a flip. You just did a bait and switch. You just did a bait and switch there.
If you ever read Isaac Newton and all his stuff, he quotes and he cites more about God, the God he believes in, as the motivation for his work than anything else he refers to.
Are you talking about the murderous alchemist? Newton?
Yes.
I love the goalpost shifting that happened, but that's
no goalpost shifting.
Did he shift or just take it out of the ground altogether?
I made a clear statement that atheism, not individual atheists, apart from their atheism, Alan Turing never built a computer based on, I don't believe in God, let me go build a computer.
How do you know his skepticism didn't lead to any of his inventions?
His skepticism wouldn't lead to constructing a computer.
Do you know that for certain?
No, I don't need to know.
Wait, okay.
The only thing I know for certain is
I'm not muting you, Matt, by the way.
Can we, like, not play the muting game, please?
Well, he does that because...
Well, if he won't shut the fuck up, what are we supposed to do?
The only thing
I finished my statement.
Okay, Matt. Can we take a break for a second on... Just quiet, everyone.
Take a break for a second. Sure.
You can't let anyone else finish theirs.
Yeah, I was talking when you overspoke me. The only thing I'm certain of is that something exists.
Okay, that's cute. Anyway, like I was saying, if you're not certain what influenced him, then you cannot say atheism's role was insignificant.
That's
incorrect.
You
don't know that. If you don't, I'm still talking. Matt. Thank you. I'm still talking.
That's very bad logic.
Okay. Thank you, Matt.
This is it.
So you're making a positive claim.
Fucking pissed off. He gets fucking pissed off and wound up when people interrupt him, but he will do it happily to somebody else.
Oh, of course, and it's childish. But if you're making a positive claim that atheism has no role in this man's life, then you need to present evidence.
We can all mute.
Okay, I've yet to mute you, Matt. If you look at the side chat, Matt, I've yet to mute you.
If people are muting me, I'll mute whoever's talking.
Okay, I have not. How about
talking,
you just not?
I will mute whoever's talking as long as people are muting me.
Oh, that's so childish.
Yeah, it's a way to stop people muting me.
Then mute the people who are muting you.
No, I will mute the person who's talking. That has more of an impact.
Are you 6? Are you seriously
right.
6 years old?
Right.
My 4-year-old acts better than you. Really? Are you like a 6-year-old? God damn it! No wonder you're not married anymore. Jesus.
I am married actually.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe. Anyway, the point that I was making. I'm
sorry, I decided to mute you again.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
This is why he's alone.
This is going nowhere.
So, we've seen that now Matt's being childish, but the point is, if you're going to make a positive claim,
that's another personal attack. Every personal attack, you get muted.
He's just trolling now. He's just trolling everybody.
Okay, let's drop it. Let's get back on track.
I'm about 5 seconds away from ejecting
Chris,
you, Matt.
what have you done?
So,
well, get control of your hangout then.
I am getting control of it.
Then get control of the other people who are muting me and people making insults about me and my
right at this moment.
And people making
vector of lack of
people
control
making
here.
Comments about my family life, about my wife.
Right at this moment, you're the
get control of people who are making
at this moment, you're the biggest vector of lack of control.
That they don't have the first idea about.
Right at this moment, you're the biggest. You're the biggest vector.
Right
of lack
at
this moment.
Right at this moment, you're muted.
Okay, so the issue is that if we're going to make positive claims about influences of people's lives, then we need to have evidence of it. I think that's the crux of what needs to be said.
That's not the crux. You put a standard there. We need to be certain of it. That's incorrect. The only thing we can be certain of, that any of us can be certain of, is that something exists and something is happening. Certainty is not the level of standard of evidence that we can ever get to. It's a lower degree of evidence. There is no evidence that I have seen that that Turing was influenced by his atheism to do the computer. If you have such evidence, present it.
Okay, here's the thing, Matt. You made the claim, not me.
Again, if you have evidence, present it. If you don't, then I'm going to go with everything I've read about him and everything I've read, which is quite considerable, and I'm going to go with what I know to be the case from that evidence, that his atheism had nothing to do with the production of the computer. In fact, if you had evidence, you would be presenting it. So we have a valid argument from silence here. You are failing to present that evidence. Therefore, that evidence does not exist. You know it, I know it, and everyone else knows it.
Well, the issue here, Matt, you first said atheist, and then you changed it to said atheism. Actually, there's some.
Wait, let him get his point out.
Here's what's interesting. Here's what's interesting, Matt. There's somebody watching the stream right now, and who's sending me messages, and who actually rewound it and heard you.
Cheers.
Okay, so you first, because you changed it, no, you said atheist,
no,
and then later you changed it to atheism.
No, I didn't. I said atheism.
Everybody else can hear. So
yeah,
the
they
issue
can go back
here,
and look at it.
The issue here, Matt. The issue here
go back and look
is that
if you make a positive
claim, Matt, which you did, that atheism did not influence Alan Turing, then there has to be something to support that. I did not make that claim, Matt. I did not make that claim. You made that claim, Matt. The onus is upon you to provide evidence of that.
I have provided that evidence. The absence of evidence about the life and biographies and the events of the life of Alan Turing give no indication at all that he was influenced by his atheism to build a computer. If you have such evidence, present it to me and I will change my view of it.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. The problem is that you're essentially comparing a guy who wants to compete in the triathlon with a guy who doesn't, and saying the guy who doesn't can't compete in the triathlon. And Sir Isaac Newton may have formulated his Principia Mathematica in the name of Jesus Christ, but Alan Turing didn't do anything in the name of atheism, because atheism is a lack of a belief. It's not in the same field.
I don't grant you that atheism, properly defined, is a lack of belief. That's lack theism.
Yeah,
that's what's called lack theism. That's not atheism.
If I may have a second,
positive assertion that gods do not exist.
If I may have a second, though. What the point is that atheists, at least myself, I can't speak for everyone, we don't go around going, oh, I'm doing this in the name of atheism. You know, I'm going to work today and I'm going to do a great job in the name of atheism. Like, we just live life, right? We just do stuff, and as a result, we might but we won't turn around and go, oh yeah, I did that because I'm an atheist.
Actually,
your comparison is like comparing a guy.
Lots of atheists actually do that. That's why they found movements. They have groups of atheists, the American Association of Atheism, the Atheist Experience Show, things like that. Atheists get together, they act for atheism, www.infidels.org,
yes,
the biggest online website promoting atheism and humanism, actively promoting it and doing that for the sake of atheism.
But nobody ever did a scientific discovery in the name of atheism. No one ever cured a disease in the name of atheism.
Yes, they did.
Alan Turing never created computers in the name of atheism.
Tell that drag guy that, because he's the one who was arguing he did.
Actually, I said you need to supply evidence for your claim.
I did provide evidence, a valid argument from silence. You know what that is?
I actually put it in the side chat.
No, that's an argument from silence. That's not a valid argument from silence.
Oh, you qualified it. Okay, please inform us.
A valid argument from silence is where there's an expectation that there would be evidence for a claim. If that expected evidence is not present, it's a valid argument from science. It's not fallacious. It's not a fallacy. So if someone says to you, hey, there's a pink elephant in your garage, and you go to the garage and you can't see a pink elephant, you can validly argument from the absence of that evidence it's not there.
The evidence that you're referencing is historical reference.
Doesn't matter what you're providing. If Alan Turing had been motivated by his atheism to produce computers, we would have a full expectation of there being some record of that atheism and the part it played, the same as we have with Newton, in the product of his work. We have not a single reference in the works and the writings and of Alan Turing even suggesting that his atheism played any part at all in his product of a computer.
Can you cite a scientific advancement? Can you cite an invention or a scientific advancement where the person who created or originated this thing came out and said publicly, I did this in the name of atheism?
No.
Right.
So what?
I rest my case.
That's the point.
Your expectation is not within the realm of possibility. Considering his position and what he did and what happened to him, I don't think he'd be making any grandiose claims that you're looking for. So I think you have to actually adjust your expectations. That's the problem here.
What do you mean? He was an open homosexual. He was warned about his homosexual behaviour. He knew it was a crime. He continued to commit that crime, even knowing and being warned off from doing that. And he was brought to trial, lawfully and rightly prosecuted for breaking the law. And rather than having the courage to go to prison, He chose chemical castration. He was a coward.
So considering all that, you really think that he would stand up on both legs and get fucking stiff and say, oh, I also am going to go against the grain and say, I am doing this for X reason that may not be publicly possible? Or actually
yes, of course. There's no reason. Do you have any evidence? Do you have any evidence? Do you have any evidence that he would have been put in prison for declaring himself at that time an atheist or prosecuted?
I didn't say he'd be put in prison. I'd say he'd make himself even more of a pariah.
Like where? Like amongst whom?
Amongst the sea of Christian people that you say was everywhere.
The sea of Christian people exists just as much today as it did in the time of Alan Turing.
That's kind of the point.
People are openly.
Look at how America behaves.
Yeah. Look at how America behaves. America behaves despicably because they have abandoned Christian values for secular values. Where they think that murder is, they've made murder legal, where they legalize all sorts of immoral practices, and they do it all in the name of secularism, which is just a pseudonym or a synonym for atheism.
America was established as a secular country by Christians and deists.
Yes, so of course it was. Yes.
So then, what are you complaining about then? You should be harping
I'm complaining about because the Christians and the Christians and the deists, at least they held to some sort of value system which resembled very closely to the Christian scriptures. They never built the Constitution on those scriptures, but the people who were doing that had those values and lived by those values and promoted those values. In modern day America and the UK, those values are now gone. We promote everything that's immoral, or nearly everything that's immoral. We'll get to the stage where paedophilia will no longer be a crime.
There goes the slippery slope. There's a slippery slope.
Here we go, boys.
Paedophilia will no longer be designated a crime. It will be designated a medical condition. In fact, there's already moves afoot by atheist organisations to have it classified as such. The act of paedophilia will always be a crime. But the paedophilia, which is a love of boys or the love of children, will not be deemed abhorrent. It will just be deemed okay. It's genetic. It's genetic. It's in their genes. Just as homosexuality is in the genes, so is paedophilia. What we need to do with paedophilia, however, is not make it. We cannot legalize it because of the obvious harm it would cause to minors. But we're going to recognize it for what it is: a genetic condition.
Matt's just hitting all the fallacies today.
I know, you just like down the list.
So tell me, so is pedophilia a genetic condition or is it a sin?
Are you talking about pedophilia?
The love of children. The love of children.
So we're not talking about the act of actually.
No, we're not talking about the action. We're talking about what pedophilia is, not the act.
The love of children. If someone loves a child, that's fine. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's nothing. Because
and then I mocked for predicting exactly what he's just admitted to. Pedophilia. Atheists will accept anything as moral, as okay, as long as they don't think it's having a direct physical harm upon another human being.
Okay, I am not a fan of thought crime. Sorry, Matt. I am not going to criminalize someone for having a thought.
Of course not, but you won't criminalize someone.
Why would anyone
criminalize
let him get his.
You won't criminalize a person for going to a children's playground, looking at children, getting an erection from that, then removing himself from that vicinity, going home to the privacy of his own bedroom, masturbating over those images of those children, because no child has been physically harmed.
Okay.
It's perfectly okay. That's normal. That's normal behavior.
Okay, I see. Now you're putting words in my mouth. Thank you for the straw man, Matt. I appreciate that.
Hey, Matt, give it a break for 2 seconds. Let Drag get his point out.
Would you criminalize that?
How about you let me speak? That'd be nice.
Well, that's my question.
Then how about you let me answer it? That's a good idea.
Answer the question. Would you criminalize that?
I'll wait till you're done, Matt.
I'm done. Would you criminalize it?
No, I would not criminalize a thought crime. And how about I explain my position? So you can literally look at every woman on. Are you done, Matt?
Hilarious. This is atheism. This is the fruits of. This is the fruits of.
I'll wait till you're done, Matt. I'll wait till you're done.
I'd like to know if Matt would criminalize
it. Morally acceptable to go and fill your mind with images of young children.
There is times a difference between what's morally acceptable and what's legal.
Go home and masturbate to orgasm over those images.
Pretty descriptive for you there, Matt.
Images.
Wait a minute. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, would you criminalize it?
Pedophilia is a crime. Yes, it's an abhorrent behavior.
Okay, so someone who stares at women. Okay, let's say it's a nice sunny day.
Women are not minors.
Okay, but that's not the point. Would it just be just as immoral for the person to go home and masturbate about a woman who's been objectified against her? Oh, I see. So you could do that to women. You could do that to women. You could treat women like, yeah, I know, Matt. Don't talk to me like I'm 6 years old, or it's going to get uncomfortable in here.
You know what a 5-year-old girl looks like?
Yes, I do, you fucking idiot. Do you?
And what you would do is you would say, hey, Mr. Pedophile, if you want to go and look at that 5-year-old girl in the playground there and fantasize about her and get your erection, rush home, get in your toilet, masturbate over that image. Hey, that's fine with me, mate.
Well, what would you do with them then? Well, what would you do with them then, Big Mouth? What would you do with them?
If it was demonstrated that was happening,
how would you demonstrate that?
If there was evidence that had happened, or a confession.
What sort of evidence are you talking about?
Like, for example, a confession to a close friend, or a paedophile ring being discovered where they had been writing about that or talking to each other on Skype or somewhere else about that, where you had some sort of evidence that would stand up in a court of law that this is a practice that they were doing, then I would treat them as guilty of a crime, and that would be legislated against, and they would be punished under the law. Because I have morality, and it's not atheist morality.
That's utterly ridiculous. That's like saying somebody can plan out a bank robbery in pretend, in a fan fiction. Make a fan fiction and plan a bank robbery, and that's the same thing as plotting to rob their local bank.
Did you know that there's a crime right now called conspiracy to commit terrorism?
Yeah, I am very.
So tell me this.
I used to work for the DOD. Okay, that's tried.
So if someone conspires to commit terrorism but they don't do it, that's a thought crime. They've planned it out. They've made all the plan. They've had the thoughts. They've got their plans all written out. They have done no action at all.
That's not the same as a thought crime. We're talking about actions and behaviors, talking about it, writing it out, stuff like that.
Yes, and that's what we're talking about with the terrorists. The terrorists can sit there, they can plan it out, they can think about it. If in America and the UK just now, let's say a house was, they were doing a drug bust on a house, and they did this drug bust in a house, and when they did that, they found lots of material on the computer relating to constructing bombs, and they found written documentation and detailed plans that looked as if it was a planned terrorist attack. That individual would be charged for conspiracy to commit terrorism. They have done nothing but think about and plan out their actions. They have not
because it's a clear threat.
It's not a clear threat, and I mean, the guy could say this is just a fantasy. I wasn't going to do anything with this. I was just seeing if it was physically possible, if I could construct a way in order to commit a crime. I'm not going to do it. I would never be so stupid. I was just looking to see, because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
Those charges would go nowhere.
Doesn't that clearly show intent, though, Matt? Wouldn't it clearly show intent?
Regardless of what they said, if a jury of their peers in the UK decided against what he was saying, even if it was the truth, they would be convicted. And the fact is, even if they were not convicted, they would still be charged by the police in the initial case just for having the thought and the thinking, even if they were not prosecuted for it.
I can tell you, as somebody who's actually been trained in counterterrorism, I can tell you that's not how it works.
They don't charge you for thinking it.
Unfortunately for you, I don't regard you as an honest person who.
I don't care. Well, here's the thing. I don't care what you think, Matt.
Well, of course not. But what I think,
really don't.
But
what you did by somebody who's been trained by the U.S. government on how to detect these sort of things. What you just stated is false.
Matt,
that is completely
what we're talking
false.
is not going to help the scenario at all.
All you're doing is providing anecdotal evidence, and anecdotal evidence is invalid.
Would you like the DoD doctrines that show you how to detect possible terrorist threats?
No, this is a red herring. No, guys.
It is.
Present to me a 2015.
This is a red herring.
A 2015.
Oh my God.
A 2015.
Matt, let people talk.
Matt.
Well, it's Gus that overtalked me when I was trying to answer the other guy.
Yeah, except that you're answering.
Except
that you're answering by essay. Don't be an asshole, because I will set fire to this fucking hangout just to burn you down.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Yeah, flowery language. Go wank yourself or something.
It's amazing what theists think about in their free time. Anyway, we went from
the burden of proof. The burden of proof for something like the burden of proof for any conspiracy would be enormous. It would be an enormous burden of proof, because basically what you're getting into. I'm still fucking talking. You ignorant. That's it. You're dead. You are fucking dead. You're dead. You are fucking dead.
I'm still alive.
You're fucking dead. Not on this hangout. You're not. You're dead.
Yeah, I'm still alive.
No. Gone.
Okay, that's enough.
He's still alive.
Still alive.
The issue here is that when we have people who are talking about it's the difference between someone making a fan fiction about. Okay, someone making a fan fiction about a bank robbery and someone actually making plans and gathering materials. If someone is going to a playground and they are sexually aroused by children, no crime has occurred. Now, morally, someone can say, you know what, that's wrong. But at the end of the day, this person has some type of mental disorder, and it's being debated now whether it's an actual disorder or whether it's just something that just naturally occurs. That should be treatable, because if you say that the attraction itself is a medical condition, it can be treated instead of just being criminalized on the thought level.
Yeah,
People
a lot of times
that through.
Yeah, a lot of times these pedophiles don't want to give it up. They've been outwardly admitted that they're not willing to give up their attraction.
Yeah, and then in which case that's something different. Then if you are unwilling to kind of give up that particular notion, and then you begin the actual planning stages, which I purposely left out from my example, then that's when you cross over into the realm of criminality. Having a thought about something is actually not criminal.
No.
There was a study, I have to find it, where people have admitted to having, and everyone has these thoughts. What happens if I killed my wife?
Yeah.
Or what happens if I killed my spouse? Everyone has thoughts. You can't control a thought. Thoughts don't have these reins that we think that we can put on them. And so once you criminalize something like that, there is no end to it. And just like with Matt's example, you get into the slippery slope. The same thing Matt Bell said about pedophilia being legal was the same thing said about miscegnation, 60 years ago. The same exact thing. And so we've yet to see the downfall of fucking society from these things being brought to light. So I think it's interesting to hear many theists talk about this, because this is the kind of stuff that they think about in their free time. It's sick and disgusting. But on the flip side, we do have people that want to talk about these tough subjects, and we want to say, we know that these people exist. Some of them are our neighbors, some of them are our coworkers, and they need help. And in order to get them help, the ones who want it, we have to say a thought is not a crime. A crime occurs when an action has occurred, and that we should be able to intercede before the crime actually happens.
No, actual intent is involved. Well, at least he got through a good 4 hours before being kicked.
Hey, Matt, are you still alive? Matt?
He was removed.
No, he's dead.
Matt,
he's gone. He's kicked.
Alive? I'm just curious, because, he took
enough's enough.
Like how he was still alive.
He overtalked and.
Well, that's what he does. That's his thing.
I hate kicking people. It's not one of my things.
Well, some people, there's only one way to fucking deal with them, and that's it.
Yeah, he's got G-Man rules.
He's got what?
He's got G-Man rules. Everyone has to follow his rules except him.
Yeah. Don't you love those?
Rob's rules.
Yeah, Rob Beasley rules.
Point of contention. Point of contention.
Point of contention.
So how is everybody today? That was fun. That was fun.
Better now?
Sid, how's it going?
Oh, all good.
He's got his daily troll in.
You guys daily trolling?
Yeah, I'm satisfied.
Yep, Helena called it.
But I'm like
Helena was right in there like a dude.
What do you mean Helena called it?
No, this was Gus. Gus totally called it.
What do you mean Helena called it? Bang your head against the fucking wall. Helena called it.
I'm going to give credit to Helena. Just because.
She came right in and she started shit.
Always. No, Helena, she was scolding me last night. She was scolding me last night, and rightly so.
Well, that's not to say that she doesn't have manifold and excellent points, but that doesn't mean that she spotted Sydney first.
No, I didn't spot it as skillful trolling.
No,
Gus had to point that out to me.
And the only reason that I spotted him is because I've seen him before do stuff. I've watched him make a career out of fucking trolling Beasley.
And he complained that the conspiracy meetings that were supposed to be private had been exposed.
Oh, I see.
Trolling Beasley is all you have to do is breathe. Ah, there's a troll.
No, you don't, because after a while he learned how to make the Hangouts bulletproof for him, and it was very few people who could get in there and get him talking for any length of time, and Sydney was one of them. Mostly because he was convinced that Sydney was queer as a $3 bill, and he was trying to get him to admit it on the air.
Oh yeah, what was that about? That was really weird. I do remember him. Are you gay? You like penis?
Speaking of which, someone has control of Beasley's account for some reason.
No, it's Beasley himself.
I doubt it.
Is?
I doubt it. The guy, no, come on. The guy's been sectioned, for crying out loud. When you're being assessed like that, they don't let you have that kind of exterior, contact with anybody.
And what if I prove you wrong?
You know what? Anybody can prove me wrong with anything if they've got evidence, but I doubt that you have the evidence.
Oh, really? And what if I do have the evidence?
Well, if you do have the evidence, then produce it and stop fucking around. How does that sound?
How about I do that then?
All right then. Anytime, sweetheart. I'm waiting.
I'm now curious.
All right then. Give me a sec.
I'm skeptic.
Good. Now you carry on. Well, I'd like to actually hear.
No, Sydney. We're all going to wait for you to produce this evidence. Come on.
I'm going to load it up. It's in the video. Do you mind?
Come on. We ain't getting any younger here. Let's go. Dépêche toi.
Dépêche toi.
Toy?
Dépêche toi. Allons-y, mon calice.
Oh my God, that's not even French.
Shut up your face.
Hey, listen, Helena. You don't.
Oh, toy?
An American doesn't get to decide what.
Asian.
Dragnaut. Would you explain to her the notions of dialects of French, please?
We in America evidently speak pidgin shit French.
Creole.
They have.
You're speaking Canadian. You're not speaking French.
Canadian French. Evidently, Canadian French is its own.
mon blonde.
I will need your full attention. Thank you.
Go ahead, Sydney.
Full attention.
No, I'd like silence.
Helen is a.
Parlez-vous la France?
I'm an atheist and I demand silence.
Oh my God! Well, listen to this.
C'est bon.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes, bony.
Should we go off air?
No, we're good.
I am. When you call yourself an atheist,
Stop
it! Fucking prick.
Okay.
Get him out of here.
Stop it!
Fucking line. I don't hate many people, but I fucking hate him. How's he going, Rob? Get him out of here. Yet I am outbound out the fucking room.
Why is that, Rob?
What's that, Chaz?
I said, why is that? Why do you want out?
Hey, listen, Steve. The one thing you have to fucking realise, you're dealing with one of the most intelligent. You fucking die, or I fuck off.
Darcy is still as crazy as a prairie dog.
I told you we should have been recording.
Hey Rob, how's it going? I'm pleased to hear your voice.
Do what I ask you to do immediately. Show some fucking measure of respect, and we'll have a conversation. Otherwise, I'll fuck off and I'll just be talking to him. See, we're at one mind. He's already putting ahead. That's the kind of special people you
Yes, I would describe you as special,
Rob. Listen, Jazz, do what I fucking ask you without fucking coming.
And no one has room control. Oh, he's left. Okay, he's shown a bit of respect and left. How's it going, Rob? I'm pleased to hear your voice. I'm glad to hear you're okay.
Toasty.
Hey.
One thing you've got to know about it.
I'm not talking about
Toasty, I do not like you.
Okay, that's fair enough, Rob.
I don't like bullshit. You grow on. The way you grow on.
And I am talking straight, Rob, and Benny will tell you.
Bullshit.
No. Just listen for a second. Just listen for a second. Go on.
No. The way it works is we fucking talk truthfully and find measure that.
Okay, Rob. Benny will actually tell you that.
No.
Okay. Benny might. Okay, let me say this. Let me say this, please, Rob.
No.
Benny did put toaster cares for you on his bowl.
Trust me.
20%, Benny.
Okay, listen. All I'm saying is, I did say to Benny earlier that I'm glad to hear you're okay. He may tell you that. I don't know.
Benny doesn't. I don't tell Benny what. Benny doesn't tell me what. I make my own judgment.
I'm not telling Benny what to do. I'm just saying that earlier on I said to Benny that I hoped you were fine and that I'm sure that he will tell you that. Now, okay.
Not me.
All right, okay, Rob.
The staff here.
Anybody convinced yet?
Well, I don't know. I don't see a time or date stamp.
Well, it sounds like he's in some type of small room because I can hear the echo coming from him.
Oh, Rob's he's in a mental hospital.
Yeah, someone sent me a private message on Google Plus and kind of explained to me what we're hearing, and it does make sense. I kind of figured that he was, since he didn't have controls over the Hangouts anymore, and he's just kind of in them and chatting to people. It does seem like, yeah, he is on some type of mobile device. And
yeah, what's happened? I'll tell you what's happened. He's got his phone or whatever, but he doesn't have a charger. He says the nurses have the charger. He only had like 20%. That's what they're talking about. 20% of time left on his phone, and he carries on in the Hangout. And he really. I'm so glad I have this recorded. But I'd love for you guys to all listen to what he says. But eventually he runs out of juice in his charger, and then he disappears. But what he says before he disappears is fucking, it's golden.
Poor guy. I feel so sorry for him. Not really.
But the way he
say that with feeling there, buddy.
But I had a laugh when he said he couldn't believe how many enlightened people he's found in the institution there. People who are, he says there are so many people who are enlightened and they're locked up. Fuck, you couldn't believe it.
They're enlightened and they're locked up.
Yeah.
Say much for their position.
And they locked him in a mental institution.
Yeah. But they're enlightened.
I wonder which one he's in.
And he actually went and mentioned again that he was the smartest person on the planet and all this kind of stuff. So
I wonder which one he's in. There's only 20 of them in all of Australia. I did some research.
I think somebody knows which one they called the one he goes to.
Well, it's Melbourne.
I think it starts
There's
with an
only
A.
two in Melbourne, I believe, and then.
Evidently, I think Troll Olin knows which one it is.
If there's two in Melbourne, then we all know which one he was in the first time. Then obviously it's the other one.
Didn't someone said his daughter actually got him sent away?
His daughter got him sent away?
That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, she initially called the ambulance to get his legs looked at because he wouldn't go have them looked at.
Okay, well then that's normal.
And then they saw him on Google Plus. Ah, fuck it! That's right, fuck it, person! What the fuck? I mice. Are you enlightened? Good. Now show me your titties.
Well, he's not that enlightened because when he was being taken away, or when he was being escorted by the emergency worker, the ambulance guy, and I guess he was picking up something in the room, and the camera was still running or whatever. And he mentioned his book to the ambulance guy, and he was trying to give it. I wrote a book, and it's I know it's true. And the ambulance guy, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's in this saltwater clinic. His daughter called an ambulance to deal with his badly swollen legs due to the toxicity of the lithium, and he blagged it, so they didn't turn up as he called them. Then he didn't turn up for an appointment, and then the men in the white coats turned up to get him, and luckily it was recorded.
Yes, that was really recorded. I have all that as well.
That's awesome.
I saw the unlisted recording of that, and that was pretty funny.
St. Tommy, how are you today?
Hey, a little bit less delusional than usual, and feeling pretty good. It's my birthday. I'm happy
birthday there, St. Tommy.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Were you watching our hangout with our event with Matt Bell?
No, I missed it. I missed
the Matt Bell event.
Yeah, I missed that, but the second I saw the link, I thought I'd miss it.
Don't worry, it's recorded.
You didn't miss much.
Did he spit on your discernment? Or was he pretty?
Oh, I don't think he actually stopped spitting the whole time.
Wow.
He left some bodily fluid on our discernment, but I doubt it was fucking spit.
Sounds sticky.
Yeah, he wasn't talking about spit. Let me tell you something. Before he left, you were talking about some other bodily fluid.
Yeah, it scares me how he was very illicit as to the description.
I know. You know what? This is a man who's gone out, looked at children, gone home, and masturbated over the image. The way he was described. That's exactly what he's done.
It's almost as if he
Come on now, guys. Come on. Let's be really.
Come on. Let's put it on the table.
Come on, Sydney. Don't fuck around with stuff like that, man. This is an on-air hangout, and pedophilia, even joked about, can follow somebody around, and it's not.
Hold it a second.
It's worse than being a crackhead.
Then what's...
No.
Let me defend myself. Let me defend myself.
This is plutonium, okay? This is plutonium. You don't fucking pull it out and wave it around lightly. Now, people have been chased off of the fucking hangouts here at the mere mention of the concept of that. Don't fucking guss me because
don't fucking guss me, Gus, because
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't care, okay? Like it doesn't. Matt Bell is a lot of things, but he's not a fucking. But we have no evidence whatsoever that he's a pedo, and we shouldn't casually.
Well, I'll give you the evidence right here. Now, listen to me.
First of all, if you've got evidence, you should be taking it to authorities, not to a place like this. First of all.
Oh, please.
Second of all, I very much.
Listen, he proposed that his example would be evidence of a thought crime. So what he was doing was actually committing a thought crime himself.
Oh, you're royally full of shit. You know what? This isn't a bunch of people sitting around fucking around anymore. When you start talking about him being a pedo and stuff like that, you've got to be able to back that up. That's not idle. Okay, that's going too far. That's crossing a line. And if you can't see that, you're about half as smart as I thought you were 20 minutes ago.
He came up with the details.
It's not a question of him. He came up with the details to explicitly examine a situation that he considers criminal. That doesn't mean that he does it himself.
Well, how would you have thought about the details? Would you have thought about stuff like that?
Oh, come on. Are you
Any one
fucking
of us
kidding
could
me?
come up
Are you
with a
fucking
detailed
kidding me?
scenario.
Would you have thought about stuff like that, Gus? Would you have thought about going and looking at children and then going home and
You're fucking around now. You are fucking around now, and this isn't something you fuck around with.
Right.
You don't casually accuse somebody of being a pedo just because it turns your little bally iron. That's not something you do. That's dishonorable.
Well, you've
you're
got
fucking
your
better
knickers
than
in and
that.
not about.
No, I gotta agree with Gus.
I understand. I understand that you think I'm fucking spoiling your fun, but frankly, you can have fun in other areas, and if you can't, you should fucking figure out how. There have been people chased out of these hangouts because people have accused them of being a fucking pedo. Okay, this isn't something you fuck with. This is plutonium.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Gus. Two things you don't falsely accuse men of is pedophilia and rape. Those things.
Hold on a second. I didn't falsely accuse anyone of anything.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
It was mentioned that was kind of creepy that he came up with so much detail.
You went a little deeper than that at first.
Hold on. It was kind of creepy that he came up with all these details, okay? And I just mentioned that in order for something for someone to come up with those details so quickly, it wasn't something that he sort of had to dig for. Must mean that he has actually gone through that experience himself.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
What sort of details did he even bring up?
It doesn't.
The details of going to a park, watching children, getting
the stereotypical
aroused,
pedophile, yes.
Getting aroused by the image
heard
of children, going home and using those images to masturbate to climax. That's what he said.
Which is the stereotype.
That's very typical, yeah.
Which you're basically at the very beginning of your comments about him in this particular thread, okay? You basically called him a pedophile. All right, so if you want to retract that accusation, that would be a good time.
Matt Bell is not a pedophile, and I did not actually call him a pedophile. If it came across that way, I apologize for any inconvenience it may have caused to anybody. Okay?
Okay, next up.
For now.
For the life of me, I cannot find the hybridization of this nitrogen chloride molecule.
Oh, really, Dragnot? Really, Dragnot? Really?
I'm feeling dead air.
Really? No. We can all take a little breath. It's okay. This isn't the radio. We can all take a little breath.
It is the radio.
You killed the radio star.
The whole world is watching.
St. Bieber.
Really? Only in the grandest halls of our minds is the whole world watching.
Excuse me.
Although Unicorn,
about 5 viewers so far.
Although Unicorn, I've been staring at your icon now, straight out of the windshield, like, really, Unicorn, really?
Oh yeah, I don't give a fuck, bro.
Who is that guy?
Is that what that says?
It's Paul Walker,
it says straight out of the windshield.
You motherfucker! That's what that said. I didn't even look at it until now.
Paul, for them that don't know, Paul Walker was the movie star of the wildly successful Fast and Furious franchise, and he was killed in a car accident, a pretty fucking nasty one too.
Oh yeah.
And so Unicorn has taken the old NWA Straight Outta Compton sigil and modified it to say straight out of the windshield.
I've actually never seen the Fast and Furious, so
that's all right. Don't feel bad. You're not missing nothing.
Cars, and the first one is about cars.
Cars and
the second
booty.
one's about Barstow, California, and cars. There's one that's a Tokyo Drift where there's Japanese people, and I don't think anybody from the actual movie. It's about cars. It's what?
And sexy girls.
Girls.
Yeah, you're missing the booty. It's cars and booty.
Cars and booty. Okay. There's some cocaine and some more cars.
You should
The
be
Rock
flagged by
appears in
feminists
there.
now.
Dwayne Johnson appears. He's a bad good guy. Something. He fights Vin Diesel because big guys fighting and cars. And so
And booty.
Yeah. And there's some more booty in there. Something.
Booty.
Oh, Ludacris is in there too. He's some kind of type manager type person who's there.
Techie, hacker,
wizard,
it's weird.
car magician, inspirational talker, fucking guy.
And then Tyrese. Don't forget Tyrese. He's just
he's
the
fucking
guy with the one-liners.
comedic fucking value.
Calls everybody brah.
Oh God, I didn't get his Barstow joke until I lived in California and went to Barstow. Now, I don't think anyone will actually understand that joke until they've been there.
Yeah,
I didn't recognize any of the names that you mentioned.
You're not missing much.
Yeah.
No.
Chris is a
It's
rapper.
about the
Kevin
booty.
is a singer. Yada yada. It's all the same shit.
Some people say he's crazy. Yeah.
Throw a bunch of ethnic people around one white guy and you have a movie about street racing.
Is that what you have?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what fucking Fast and Furious was. Like Paul Walker was like.
I think Interpol disagrees.
For like most of the movies, he was like the only. He was either like some Spanish guys or some fucking black guys or some Asian people or fucking. And then Paul Walker was just bam, the one white guy just amongst all of these people.
Yeah, bam is a pretty accurate word for it. Bam.
Was he driving the car that he was killed in?
I don't know. I don't know personally.
I think so.
I think they even finished the movie with his brother that just so happens to look like him.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if he didn't though? The guy's like.
No, he's a clone. His brother's a clone.
Could you imagine if his brother didn't look like him and be like, I don't know, 2 feet shorter with like a big mustache?
Well, they could have found somebody to look like him in America or somewhere.
I haven't actually seen the movie. I just heard they used his brother.
Straight out of the windshield.
Just to do the finishing touches, they used them.
I got a couple of friends that would black both my eyes if I ever showed them that picture. If I straight out of the windshield. Yeah. Actually, one of the sort of a friend of a friend is a guy named Robert Mayette, who he's been in a bunch of different things as sort of a great big monstrous dude. He was in 300 as that the really big ogre guy, and he was in if anybody watches a TV show called The Strain, he plays the master. Like he's the
Oh, that's him? Damn.
Yeah, that's Robert Mayette. Yeah, he's sort of a friend of mine through another friend. I actually wrote his bio for IMDb. Actually, came to me because his friend, who's a mutual friend of mine, said, "Gus, this guy can't write for shit. Look at what he's written for his own bio." I'm like, "Oh my god." He said, "Would you clean it up for me?" I said, "Yeah, sure. I'll put the music to it."
Like, is that how big he actually is, or
is
that CGI?
Yeah. No, like he was. Like you can see how big he is when you watch him in like Pacific Rim, because he's the Russian guy in Pacific Rim, and you can he's a big dude. Like he used to be a wrestler. He used to be with the WWE, so he wrestled under the name the Kurgan. I know, the WWE. I'm telling you, so fucking imaginative.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go off air.
Good.
Thank you to whoever was watching.
These all suck.
I hope you didn't hurt yourself.
Don't watch your shit anymore. Skeptic's a prick.
Happy birthday there, Sam.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Were you watching our hangout with our event with Matt Bell?
No, I missed it. I missed that
missed
part
the
of
Matt Bell event.
Yeah, I missed that. But the second I saw the link, I thought I'd miss it.
Don't worry, it's recorded.
You didn't miss much.
Did he spit on your discernment, or was he pretty?
Oh, I don't think he actually stopped spitting the whole time.
Wow.
He left some bodily fluid on our discernment, but I doubt it was fucking spit.
Sounds sticky.
Yeah, he wasn't talking about spit. Let me tell you something before he left. You were talking about some other bodily fluid.
Yeah, it scares me how he was very illicit as to the description.
I know. You know what? This is a man who's gone out, looked at children, gone home, and masturbated over the image. The way he was. That's exactly what he's done.
As if he
Come on
knew
now, guys. Come on. Let's be really.
Let's put it on the table.
Come on, Sydney. Don't fuck around with stuff like that, man. This is an on-air hangout, and pedophilia, even joked about, can follow somebody around, and it's It's not.
Hold on a second.
It's worse than being a crackhead.
Then what's...
No.
Let me defend myself. Let me defend myself.
This is plutonium, okay? This is plutonium. You don't fucking pull it out and wave it around lightly. Now,
excuse me.
People have been chased off of the fucking hangouts here at the mere mention of the concept of that.
Gus,
don't gus me. Don't fucking gus me because don't fucking gus me, Gus, because I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Okay, like it doesn't. Matt Bell is a lot of things, but he's not a fucking. But we have no evidence whatsoever that he's a pedo, and we shouldn't casually.
Well, I'll give you the evidence right here. I'll give you the evidence right here. Now, listen to me.
First of all, if you've got evidence, you should be taking it to authorities, not to a place like this. First of all.
Oh, please.
Second of all, I very much.
Listen, he proposed that his example would be evidence of a thought crime. So what he was doing was actually committing a thought crime himself.
Oh, you're royally full of shit. You know what? This isn't a bunch of people sitting around fucking around anymore. When you start talking about him being a pedo and stuff like that, you've got to be able to back that up. That's not idle. Okay, that's going too far. That's crossing a line. And if you can't see that, you're about half as smart as I thought you were 20 minutes ago.
He came up with the details.
It's not a question of him. He came up with the details to explicitly examine a situation that he considers criminal. That doesn't mean that he does it himself.
Well, how would you have thought about the details? Would you have thought about stuff like that?
Oh, come on. Are you
fucking
kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Scenario.
Would you have thought about stuff like that, Gus? Would you have thought about going and looking at children and then going home and
what? You're fucking around now. You are fucking around now, and this isn't something you fuck around with. You don't casually accuse somebody of being a pedo just because it turns your little bally iron. That's not something you do. That's dishonorable.
Well, you've got
fucking better than that.
Not about
no, I gotta agree with Gus.
I understand. I understand that you think I'm fucking spoiling your fun. But frankly, you can have fun in other areas, and if you can't, you should fucking figure out how. There have been people chased out of these hangouts because people have accused them of being a fucking pedo, okay? This isn't something you fuck with. This is plutonium.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Gus. Two things you don't falsely accuse men of is pedophilia and rape. Those things...
Hold on a second. I didn't falsely accuse anyone of anything.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
It was mentioned that was kind of creepy that he came up with so much detail.
You went a little deeper than that at first.
Hold on. It was kind of creepy that he came up with all these details, okay? And I just mentioned that in order for someone to come up with those details so quickly, it wasn't something that he sort of had to dig for. Must mean that he has actually gone through that experience himself.
No, it doesn't.
What sort of details did he even bring up?
It doesn't.
The details of going to a park, watching children, getting
the stereotypical pedophile, yes.
Getting aroused by the image of children, going home and using those images to masturbate to climax. That's what he said.
Which is a stereotype.
That's very typical, yeah.
Which you're basically at the very beginning of your comments about him in this particular thread, okay? You basically called him a pedophile. All right, so if you want to retract that accusation, that would be a good time.
Matt Bell is not a pedophile, and I did not actually call him a pedophile. If it came across that way, I apologize for any inconvenience it may have caused to anybody. Okay?
Okay, next topic.
For now.
For the life of me, I cannot find the hybridization of this nitrogen chloride molecule.
Oh, really, Dragnot? Really, Dragnot? Really?
I'm feeling dead air.
Really? No. We can all take a little breath. It's okay. This isn't the radio. We can all take a little breath.
It is the radio.
You killed the radio star.
The whole world is watching.
St. Bieber.
Really? Only in the grandest halls of our minds is the whole world watching.
Excuse me.
Although Unicorn,
about 5 viewers so far.
Although Unicorn, I've been staring at your icon now, straight out of the windshield, like. Really, Unicorn? Really?
Oh yeah, I don't give a fuck, bro.
Who is that guy?
Is that what that says?
It says straight out of the windshield.
You motherfucker! That's what that said. I didn't even look at it until now.
Paul, for them that For them that don't know, Paul Walker was the movie star of the wildly successful Fast and Furious franchise, and he was killed in a car accident, a pretty fucking nasty one too.
Oh yeah.
And so Unicorn has taken the old NWA Straight Outta Compton signal and modified it to say Straight Outta the Windshield.
I've actually never seen the Fast and Furious, so
that's all right. Don't feel bad. You're not missing
It's
nothing.
Cars, and the first one is about cars.
Cars
the
and
second
booty.
one's about Barstow, California, and cars. There's one that's a Tokyo Drift with there's Japanese people, and I don't think anybody from the actual movie. It's about
Sexy
cars.
Mm.
It's what?
And sexy girls.
Girls.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're missing on the booty. It's cars and booty.
Cars and booty.
Some booty.
Okay. There's some cocaine and some more cars.
You should
The
be
Rock
flagged by
appears in
feminists
there.
now.
Dwayne Johnson appears. He's a bad good guy. Something. He fights Vin Diesel because big guys fighting and cars, and so
And booty.
Yeah, and there's some more booty in there. Something.
Booty.
Oh, Ludacris is in there too. He's some kind of type manager type person who's there.
Techie. Hacker.
Wizard.
Yeah, it's weird.
Car magician. Inspirational talker, fucking guy.
And then Tyrese, don't forget Tyrese. He's just
he's
the
fucking
guy with the one-liners.
comedic fucking value.
Calls everybody bra.
Oh god, I didn't get his Barstow joke until I lived in California and went to Barstow. Now, I don't think anybody will actually understand that joke until they've been there.
Yeah,
I didn't recognize any of the names that you mentioned.
You're not missing much.
Yeah.
No.
Chris is a
It's
rapper.
about the
Tyrese
booty.
is a singer. Yada yada. It's all the same shit.
Some people say he's crazy. Yeah.
Throw a bunch of ethnic people around one white guy and you have a movie about street racing.
Is that what you have?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what fucking Fast and Furious was. Like Paul Walker was like.
I think Interpol disagrees.
For like most of the movies, he was like the only. He was either like some Spanish guys or some fucking black guys or some Asian people or fucking. And then Paul Walker was just bam, the one white guy just amongst all of these people.
Yeah, bam is a pretty accurate word for it. Bam.
Was he driving the car that he was killed in?
I don't know. I don't know personally.
I think so.
I think they even finished a movie with his brother that just so happens to look like him.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if he didn't though? The guy's like.
No, he's a clone. His brother's a clone.
Could you imagine if his brother didn't look like him? He'd be like, I don't know, 2 feet shorter with like a big mustache.
Well, they could have found somebody to look like him in America or somewhere.
I haven't actually seen the movie. I just heard they used his brother.
Straight out of the windshield.
Just to do the finishing touches, they used them.
I got a couple of friends that would black both my eyes if I ever showed them that picture. If I straight out of the windshield. Yeah. Actually, one of the sort of a friend of a friend is a guy named Robert Mayette, who he's been in a bunch of different things as sort of a great big monstrous dude. He was in 300 as that the really big ogre guy, and he was in if anybody watches a TV show called The Strain, he plays the master, like he's the
Oh, that's him.
Damn. Yeah, that's Robert Mayette. Yeah, he's sort of a friend of mine through another friend. I actually wrote his bio for IMDb. Actually, came to me because his friend, who's a mutual friend of mine, said, "Gus, this guy can't write for shit. Look at what he's written for his own bio." I'm like, "Oh my god." He said, "Would you clean it up for me?" I said, "Yeah, sure. I'll put the music to it."
Like, is that how big he actually is, or
Oh
is
yeah,
that CGI?
yeah. No, like he was. Like you can see how big he is when you watch him in like Pacific Rim, because he's the Russian guy in Pacific Rim, and you can he's a big dude. Like he used to be a wrestler. He used to be with the WWE, so he wrestled under the name the Kurgan. I know, the WWE. I'm telling you, so fucking imaginative.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go off air.
Good.
Thank you to whoever was watching.
These all suck.
I hope you didn't hurt yourself.
Don't watch your shit anymore. Skeptic's a prick.